That's right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Here Speak podcast. I am your host, Chris, and I'm here with a couple of great fellas. We're going to talk about some anime today on the pod for the first time, specifically Attack on Titan. I know we're a little late. It's Attack on Titan Season 1, but here, talk with me. We got James and Keith. How you guys doing?
I thought this was the March Madness episode. My bad.
I didn't do my homework. I've been watching basketball.
I'm doing great, Chris. How about you?
Doing okay. Could use a vacation. Almost broke my arm doing more work on the car. That was fun.
Dude, you're not young spring chicken anymore, dude. You gotta be careful.
I'm not. And when you're trying to work on a seized piece of equipment, don't keep pushing. You can hurt yourself.
Oof.
So how you doing, Keith?
Parkour!
Parkour.
You just come straight from the gym, Keith? Like you just came straight from the gym and slapped on some John Wick black sweater on.
Nah. Straight from work. But I work at a gym. Nah.
There you go. Yeah. Man. All right. So we're supposed to talk about Attack on Titan Season 1 here. I'm going to tell you, I'm at the end. As people should know, Attack on Titan is in its 5th season. The last episode, I believe, is coming up next week.
Dear Lord.
So very close to the final episode.
And how many episodes per season, Chris?
No, this is a normal episode thing. So if I go to season 1 here.
It's like 23, I think, right?
Oh, thanks for not numbering things, IMDb. I don't want to have to count. Yeah, it's in the 20s. It's not like 500 episodes or anything like that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
This is the show that I recommended that Keith to start into his old anime, modern day anime expedition.
His resurgence into modern anime. Yeah, it's one of the big 4. By the way, there are 24 episodes in season 1.
That's what I thought.
It's one of the big modern 4 with Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, and My Hero Academia. There's lots of others. These are specifically the shonen action anime I'm talking about, tend to be the most popular. 2 of which have movies out. No, 3 had movies out. 2 released to the theaters in America. Because we reviewed the Demon Slayer movie, and the Jujutsu Kaisen is technically number 2 in the theaters right now, with like $15 million or something. Not quite Batman numbers, but you know. But I know there's been a My Hero movie, but I don't think it was released.
There's been 2.
Theaters
only released in Japan and the UK, I believe.
But doing big numbers. These are the big number anime. And all of these are based on manga series. The Attack on Titan specifically, which I just learned means advancing giants in English, which, hey. Or the original Japanese title actually means advancing giants, not Attack on Titan.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. Which, okay. I mean, Attack on Titan's pretty cool. I mean, it's technically supposed to be Attack Titan.
Yeah.
Which, as you learn when you're watching it, makes more sense, but doesn't sound as cool.
Yeah.
I like Attack on Titan. It was pretty cool. Cool name. It's a 34-volume manga series, which went from 2009 to 2021, so it is completely finished. So if you're interested in those, they're all available. We were just in New York a couple weeks ago, and I got to go into the big comic book shop there. Um,
Midtown
why am I
Comics.
blanking? Yeah,
Midtown
and
Comics.
Midtown Comics. Shout out Midtown Comics. And they had a great selection of all the manga in there. I bought one for my son. We bought some comics for the other one. I bought some comics for myself. So, or I should say, my wife bought comics for me. She spoiled me
We
while
know
I was
how it
there.
works.
Right, exactly. So yeah, they're readily available now. Like you can just go into any comic book shop. You can go into Barnes and Noble. You can pick them up. Um, very easy to get. So if there's a lot of times if there's an anime that you watch, I've been going onto Hulu and just picking something and watching it. Right.
Yeah.
And like there's a couple of them. One was called Gangsta, and I kind of liked it, but it ended after one season. But come to find out, it's actually a manga series.
Mm.
So I could, if I liked it enough, I can actually go get it. Unlike some of these comic book adaptions where it's a completely different thing, I can go get the Civil War comic and it'll be nothing like the movie. These
The,
manga series tend to be direct adaptions.
correct. You're right.
So have you ever sat down and read any?
I tried to read My Hero because that was my favorite. That got me back into anime because I went to high school with Keith of all people, and we got into like back then like Ninja Scroll and the anime at the time. Then some of us went to college, had real jobs, got a family, and lost contact. So a couple years ago, I was like, "Yeah, let me venture into the new anime. Like, what's going on?" Because I go to Comic Cons. I've been going to Comic Con for years, and they take like a whole other universe of fandom, and I'm like, I hope I can kind of relate to it because I remember in the '90s, you know. So somebody put me up to speed. Was like, listen, they're all based on these graphic novels, no different than Marvel and DC. So I think I went into the My Hero one because then my son was interested in it, Eric, and then I got like a couple issues, and obviously the mangas are different. The graphic novels are different than the direct adaptation on TV. Just like Civil War that you said. Well, not that bad. It's not Civil War's not as bad as the movie. But there's a lot of information in the graphic novels and the manga. I should start calling manga that isn't shown on screen for a bunch of different reasons.
Yeah, I think it feels more like a book adaptation in the sense that you obviously can't fit everything that's in the book,
Correct.
but it's a more they tend to be more closer aligned to the storyline and the characters and stuff like that. Whereas the modern American comic book movie has has gone, you know what, we're just going to take the spirit of these 70-year-old characters
Yes.
and comic series and we're just going to kind of make our own new thing out
I
of it
think
as
the
opposed
biggest
to.
issue that I noticed so far is because it's a 30-minute TV show, you kind of truncate the story from a couple of episodes of a manga into like a 30-minute TV show because of time
Mm-hmm.
constraints. So a lot of things get cut, a lot of things is backstory, a lot of things is like, used as a flashback. So if you're not reading the manga, you're just watching the show, you're still gonna enjoy it. But then you have a bunch of questions. And then I go to Eric, like, what does this mean in the dream that he had? He goes, oh, because of this. I'm like, why did they show that? I don't know. So
Editorial choicing, right?
exactly.
Speaking of which, my middle son, just went to RockCon, which is the Rochester Comic Con, and he said it was like 70% anime and manga. Like it was not because it's a small one. You're not going to get the big DC, Marvel presence or anything like that. So it's mostly run by fans and artists, and anime and manga is just taking that space over.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, to be
Yes.
honest, when it comes to like the original DC and Marvel comics and Image comics and all the other, they're no longer a huge presence in any of the Comic Cons. It's the studios now that are a huge presence. Warner Brothers, DC, Marvel Studios, they represent the comic field, which is sad. And then you have the anime and manga. Now they're making up for the lack of the the old fashioned American comics that we all grew up in love with. So it makes sense. It's
Right.
sad, but that's what's happening now.
Yeah, so we're going to talk the best we can about this. We are not obviously big, huge anime and manga nerds the way some other people are. This is more of a part of our entertainment media diet. It's something we enjoy in limited supply, and I'm going to try to start doing more individual reviews of some shows that I've watched. We'll talk about that
You
maybe
are
at the
our
end of this.
subject matter expert.
Yeah, expert. Um, so in this case, we're just going to talk about Attack on Titan season 1 because we just kind of want to dabble. We want to get into it. We want to invite people who might not otherwise want to or think they can get into it or back into it because, like you said, a lot of us, somebody had you know, recorded stuff on VHS in college, and so I was watching Evangelion or Ranma One Half or some, Ninja Scroll
Ninja
and shit
Scrolls.
like that,
Yes.
right? But you leave college and you're like, okay, well, I can rent at a I have like 10 things maybe I can rent at a Blockbuster, and I've seen most of them, you know. But that's about all the availability you had, as opposed to now. Now it's just like with all the streaming services, including specific ones like Crunchyroll and Funimation, which just merged,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you have access to hundreds of or thousands of old and new, and there's stuff for everybody. So if you're at all interested in this style of entertainment, give it a try. We're going to try to give you some options to get into it and feel accepted back. Don't feel like you have to go get ready and dress up like Cloud, Final Fantasy on your first watch.
Which I didn't know was based on anime or manga until years later.
Right. Well, and now even with the games, they've created like their whole own universe and movies, and you can go on and watch some decent and some not so decent Final Fantasy movie anime on Netflix. Some on Netflix is where I saw the last
And I
one.
have to say, some anime is family friendly, a few, and many are not. Many are not.
Okay, so let's just say it's just animation. Specifically, we're in specifically Japanese animation, and it is a variety. It is a just like a movie. If I said, "Well, go watch a movie with your family," you know the difference between an R-rated movie and a G-rated movie. The same thing with anime. They have all the different levels and styles just because it looks animated. I remember my mom when I started getting into it in college, and my mom came home and she handed me a VHS tape, and luckily it was the one I asked for,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she was telling me about this because she was picking up Battle Angel. It was Battle Angel Alita.
Okay.
So they made a recent terrible live action adaptation of it.
Terrible.
She said she was purchasing it at the then Fye or whatever whatever was
In the
around
mall, I remember those. Yeah.
in the late '90s, and she was picking it up because I had asked specifically for it. And she said some mom was just picking up a random cartoon for her kid, and like she was like, it didn't look quite appropriate by the cover. I wasn't sure what it was, and I told her that maybe I'm buying this for my college age son. Maybe she shouldn't just buy for her like 8-year-old or something who would ask for something he saw. So like I know there are parents out there who just look at cartoons and think cartoons, especially
Yeah.
in America. America has a thing about what cartoons are, and it's not the same around the world. So be aware that you can find family friendly, you can find comedies, you can find dramas, you can find sports stuff. There's also very R-rated content.
Very
And
graphic. Like,
inappropriate
there's a huge
content.
difference
Yeah.
between My Hero Academia, one of the big four, versus Attack on Titan. Huge difference. Both animated.
Right. Exactly. So just for anybody who doesn't know, I'm sure most people who listen to this know, but maybe you're 45 and haven't ventured into anime in a while, and you're just wondering.
Like Keith over here. All right, let's go.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, um, let's see here. Attack on Titan, uh, made by Hajime Izayami? Izayama.
Probably wrong, but sounds good enough.
Hajime Izayama. I apologize, but I did try. I did. Even when I listen to things, like I said, my audio connection to my brain doesn't always work properly.
It's okay.
But anyway, this is we're talking about specifically the anime, which is 5 seasons. We're in the final season right now. There was a big break between the first half of season 5 and the second half of season 5. So we're talking about season 1 only. And so this is about a place called Paradise Island. On this island, there is a single city that is surrounded by 3 levels of walls. Within that walls, the last of humanity lives. And outside of the walls, there's these things called Titans, which are giant humanoids. Because they don't have any. They're giant human-looking creatures, but they have varying sizes of limbs.
Missing genitals.
They don't have no genitals at all. They're all naked, but you can see their muscles. You can see they're like almost skinless in a sense. Some of them.
Yeah.
They vary quite a bit in size and power and strength. But anyway, so outside of these walls, so there's this different levels of military personnel. One called the Scout Regiment that goes out in the walls and basically searches the island and tries to destroy some of these Titans in order to.
For Keith, imagine Game of Thrones and like north of the wall, and they're scouting for, the whites and the White Walkers.
Yeah, the setting, the housing and stuff looks like 15th century German. A lot of the names are seem pretty German.
Although the closer, I'm not sure you want to make sure we illustrate to our fans and audience, is concentric walls. The closer you get to the center, the higher the class of people are.
Yeah, it's definitely, there is a class system within the walls, just like any place.
Or Game of Thrones.
Right, and specifically whenever there was a keep, a castle keep, there was always the high people in the middle and the poor farmers on the outer edge. But so this is the story of a young kid named Aaron, his adopted sister Mikasa, and their friend Armin. And
Mikasa, my favorite character, but go ahead.
Everybody's favorite character, I think. She's pretty awesome. And they're just young kids who's living in this city, seeing these military personnel go out. They cannot leave the walls because anybody who leaves the walls, including well-trained personnel, die. And one thing you should expect in this anime is people die. People die every episode, and it's lots of people. It's not just like one person. It's like half of any military regiment.
And the manner of their deaths is very, very graphic.
Very graphic. So you get these kids, and they're poor, and you can tell that they're just wanting to do something more with their lives. They're not sure what they're living. It's been 100 years and no one's left, and they don't know what's going on, how they got there. There's kind of like this weird empty history to this place, and you kind of get that sense through this. And to move things along, suddenly there's an attack, and there's a new attack on Titan, and a new kind of Titan appears that has never appeared before. It is a giant Titan, taller than the walls, which has never happened before, and he literally breaks the outer wall and opens up all of the largest area of population to these monsters, to these Titans, who spill into the city and start eating people, graphically destroying things. including Aaron's mother, who was eaten in front of him,
Hmm.
literally like a giant uh, picking up a gummy bear and eating it.
Yeah, or
That's what
corn on the
happened to his
cob
mom.
at a freaking barbecue.
Right, corn on the cob. And it goes through this, and then they collapse. Everybody's trying to get away. They go in another level when another Titan, another new Titan they've never seen before, the Armored Titan. Now, obviously,
Yeah,
these things up until now have not been intelligent, and now suddenly you have these two Titans that have different abilities that are purposely attacking their city and breaking in. And they
with that
eventually,
no with no provocation at all. So no
right,
one's ready for
seemingly
this.
no, besides it being the centennial of the city.
Correct.
But yeah, so you get these giant attacks, and the kids, once they finally fight and get the Titans back, they cannot leave because now you got giant holes, and these
So
things have
Chris, refresh
access.
my memory because it's been a while. I think this is where they start to show us that the infantry has these rocket propel abilities. Like,
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
yeah, we'll get into gear.
So
Mm.
although you mentioned it reminds you of like serfdom England, the way that the civilization is set up, they still have technology that's beyond like the 1900s. They have technology that's, I would say
It
futuristic a little bit here and there.
it feels
There you go.
like a steampunk power, because these are all right. So they're called the Scout Troop,
Yeah.
the Scout Regiment, and they have special gear, which is like a harness and two gas
There
powered
you go.
grappling hooks that are the giant grappling hooks that are attached to their sides, and they fire out gas powered grappling hooks that can, of course, because it's the magic of entertainment, they can just grab and spin and run and
Yeah.
fly and flip. Very, very much like next level Batman,
Batman.
but
I was gonna say that like Super Batman, but yeah.
but more actually, I'd almost say like Batman, but if he could move like Spider Man,
Yeah.
because they have complete control over how fast they
They
go
can
and how far they
slowly
fly.
stop, go up, go down. Yeah, full control.
Yeah, exactly. They seem to have a lot more. And their main weapon though is their swords, but they're swords with blades that have the ability to break off and reconnect with new sword blades that they keep with them. Because the only way to kill the Titan, because they heal otherwise, is to slice the nape of their neck, and that kills them. So, which is a very specific spot that they have to hit.
Correct.
So let's just talk about the world. This is a really interesting introduction to this world, because not only the setting's pretty plain Jane, but if you've ever seen Full Metal Alchemist, it is basically a very similar setting, very similar kind of steampunky time frame where they're not doing. There's no computers, there's no cell phones, there's no communication, but they do have some weird, surprising technology with. But in this, they specifically don't have distance travel or air travel because no one
Can leave the
moves
walls.
around the
Yeah.
city.
So they're
Right.
focused and centralized in this one island, and they have steampunk technology. It's a great point you mentioned, but it seems to me like they're like a warrior tribe. Like everyone is aware of the evil and the threat that exists beyond the wall. So everybody is somewhat battle hardened a little bit. Even like the kids and everything, they're aware of the threat. They're always aware of the threat. So they're not like a typical society where you've got like, you know, oh, I'm peaceful, I'm a little, jester, whatever. Like in the back of their mind, a threat always exists that at any moment.
Yeah, there was an interesting opening scene where there is a wall guard. So one of the military units is just they're called, I think they're just called the garrison, and they're literally gate
Oh, there's three
guards, like
groups.
the
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. But when they first see the one guy, he's just drinking on the job, and part of this is no the idea that it's been 100 years since they believe the wall's been breached. So some people have kind of fallen into
Oh yeah,
a
you're right.
a
Complacency,
sense of
complacency. Yeah.
complacency. So even though they know they're out there, even though because we see the scout troop go out and come back having lost many people, Aaron's mother specifically tells him she doesn't want him joining that group because they're the people who constantly go out and die. So everybody knows this is a threat. They know people go out and die, but there is a complacency to being inside the wall and going, yeah, we're fine. Everything's okay until
Until the two
this
new
this one
Titans
attack.
arrive and start wrecking shop.
So it's a really interesting. This is one of the most interesting openings I've seen in an anime in a long time, where the setting is kind of familiar to other animes, but then this the visage of this giant skinless human that just is killing and mauling and supposedly gets nutrition, as far as they can tell. They don't really understand. Gets nutrition from eating people is such an interesting, just
Interesting.
visual
It's a
that was
dark. Like
created.
this is the first anime that I'm watching that I didn't feel like I was watching like Demon Slayer. Yeah, obviously there's some evil characters in that, but
Mm-hmm.
this anime just seemed like it's purposely meant to show like dread and depression and fear and disgusting like you're gonna die and you're gonna die in a horrific way in every episode. There's no positive moment at the end of every episode.
Well, and this is
And what really killed me, I think it's episode 2 or 3, where there's a character that has a flashback, which is a telltale sign, a flashback about a good moment in their lives, a good moment that they had. That means they're about to get
yeah,
eaten.
exactly.
No, yeah, they're about to bite it in the literal sense of the word by the Titan. It's gonna eat them.
All right. And that's the crazy thing is the only character that lives, their flashbacks are all negative. Like every flashback that poor Mikasa has, you're just like, oh my god, like you lived through hell. Oh, you're gonna
You're gonna
survive. Okay,
survive. That's a
maybe.
good point. I didn't realize the contrast between Aaron, I think it's his name, right?
Yeah,
Who
Aaron.
the very positive moment that he had in his flashback, and then you see him get swallowed whole, versus Mikasa.
Yeah, whose flashback is pretty horrid. The
By the way,
even though she gets saved.
go
Okay.
ahead. I was gonna say. By the way, I like the fact that in this show, they do show you how certain people are willing to do whatever it takes for their survival, including not letting people in for safety against the Titans, like keeping them out the wall as they got breached.
Yeah, this is and like to go into if you've watched most anime, and Keith has said this on our chats before, is that he loves the character who overcomes and like that is their superpower that they overcome, and
Uh,
th-
yeah, the superpower that's the I could never I'm I'm never gonna give up superpower.
right
Like that
and
to me, I love that.
to the point where the show kind of rewards that. Yes, they take their lumps, they get beat up, they're usually at the end of their rope, but then god damn it, they're gonna win, and you're gonna cheer. And I think this whoever the person who wrote this knows that's a thing, and they take advantage of that because I'm sitting there every episode going, okay, I see what's gonna happen here. Aaron's gonna do this. Okay, I see what's gonna happen. Mikasa's gonna do this. I see what's gonna happen there. Levi's gonna do this. And every episode they're like, no, 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 no. You're gonna hate this. People are gonna die, and they're not gonna win. Like, and not to say there isn't some small victories in here and there, but they're always just like survival level
So
victories.
can we start spoiling Aaron because he's a major character in the show? Can we drop the big spoiler?
Okay, so
Oh,
oh, it looks.
and
Hey, how
Hey,
you
what's going
doing?
What's
on?
going on, guys? How y'all doing? All
You
right
made it
now.
through.
You're good.
You just caught us at the beginning of describing Attack on Titan, the first couple of episodes with the how negative the world feels like, where everybody dies in an episode and everybody it's very depressing and down and unlike most animes where it ends in a positive moment, Attack on
Right.
Titan takes a different formula and ends in a soul crushing defeat.
Yeah, I haven't it's been a while since I seen Attack on Titan season 1. Seriously, like it's been a long I
Can you
watched.
turn your volume up a bit? I'm sorry, I'm just having a little trouble hearing you.
Okay.
See if I can do it from my end. Yeah, you're at a high peak volume.
Let me Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I don't know if the rest of the guys can hear you.
A
I'm
little
gonna,
bit better. Yeah, I was just
I'm
having some
turning my
trouble.
volume, turning my speaker up. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Chris, can you hear him?
Yeah, I think that's good enough.
Keith?
All
All
right.
right.
Yeah, I've seen seasons 1 through 4. I've seen season 4 part 1, but didn't watch part 2. I kind of like fell off of it. And with me with anime is, I gotta really be like, depending on the anime, I have to really be invested into it for me to to watch the whole thing and to really
Right.
like, you know, enjoy it. That's how I am with anime. So, if like if it,
Well, do you
especially
remember
if it
your
don't catch me
first
by the first
reaction to
two
see?
episodes, I'll leave it alone. But I did watch Attack on Titan from seasons 1 to all the way to 4 part 1. I didn't watch part 2, but I liked it. I
Mhm.
It's messed up. It's got it. All things have to end. I mean, the manga did end, and everything that they've shown so far is, from the manga. So, ever,
Yeah, we had a small discussion at the beginning of the episode about kind of getting into it in school when we were younger, and maybe us specifically falling off a bit until the
I
modern.
raised my hand on that. I fell off after like high school, and I was busy, and
right.
then I got college, and then I got married and kids. So my interest died down until I started doing the Comic Con circuit, and I'm like, that's a huge fandom out here. Like they're bigger than
Yeah.
Star Wars, bigger than DC and Marvel.
I didn't know about it when I was in high school. And then when I started doing my research about the Comic Cons, I seen other YouTubers going. I said, Comic Con, New York Comic Con started in '06, and like, why did I not know about this back then? So as the years went on, my pop culture kind of me falling in love with pop culture kind of died down some. So once I got on YouTube and I started seeing YouTubers as far as like Unreal Entertainment Gaming and Geekdom One on Geekdom 101, who I watched since he started his channel, and a few others, and I was just like, wow, like this is dope. So and since then I've been buying a bunch of DVDs, and I watch more movies. I love to play video games too, but I watch more movies than play games. I like different kind of movies. I love drama. I love comedy. I love love stories. I love love stories and with the drama. I love action. I love suspense. I love it too. I love all of that. So
And anime definitely has that option. It's everything.
So we listed in the
Everything's
beginning the
there.
top four that we believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, and what was the fourth one, Chris?
Jujutsu Kaisen. So it's what we think the top four
Right
action
now.
anime right now.
the top four that's popping right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, Demon Slayer I know is of course my hero. Um, Jujutsu Kaisen is good. I know that they just came out with a movie. I didn't get a chance to go
Mm-hmm.
see it. I started watching Jujutsu Kaisen. I think I seen like 1 or 2 episodes. I plan on getting back into watching that. My Hero I've been watching since the beginning. I've been reading the manga as well. The manga is like on fire right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for people to check out the future seasons, like season 7 and beyond, because
Please
My,
tell me Deku gets better. Please tell me he gets better.
I don't want to spoil anything. Guys gotta
All
watch it.
right, all right.
All right,
But
all right.
um, they had a war arc where the villains and the heroes go against each other, and it's unfucking real. Like
All
I
right.
was reading, I was like, oh my gosh, like
All
it is crazy. Why aren't people read? A lot of people don't read the manga. People are anime only. I'm more of an anime only person, but I'm starting to like do both. I've been doing both for a little bit now, so I'm reading the manga and I'm watching the anime. But I don't want to spoil people that what goes on in the manga and what they getting ready to see when the anime comes out.
Say less. Say
So,
less, fam.
All
you know,
right.
it's the same with Dragon Ball Super. If you ain't been reading the manga Dragon Ball Super, but when the anime finally comes back, you know, I didn't already know what's going on. Now when the anime comes out, they're probably gonna change some things a little bit. I kind of expected that, but yeah, and they got a new movie coming out, Dragon Ball Super Superhero. I will be seeing it. Um, Gohan is getting his time to shine. It's been a
Mm-hmm,
while,
mm-hmm.
but I understand the character. I know where he's at, and so a lot of people don't. A lot of people want him to be more like his father, which he's not. And it is what
What
it is.
about Chris's favorite anime, Naruto?
Oh yeah, I've seen it all. Naruto, Naruto Shippuden, and I watch Boruto, and I read the manga. The manga's on
Oh,
fire.
you're actually wait. Hold on a second. You're actually watching Boruto because
Yeah,
I do watch Boruto too, even though it is bad. I'm still caught up on that damn
Dude, these
show.
are like 500 episode seasons, man. I
yeah.
can't do that. I tried.
I watched it.
3 times.
Shippuden
I've
has a
gone
lot of
through
filler,
Naruto 3 times.
but if you take the filler out, it's less than that. But
Oh yeah.
but the
You
battle
can kind of
between
fast forward through quite a bit.
yeah, the battle between Naruto and Sasuke was dope. That
Yeah, no, but it was probably what reignited me back. Was I finally sat down. My kids were probably 10 or 12,
okay,
and my son was kind of getting into it,
okay.
and it was on, and I was like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember when
And
Naruto first came on Cartoon Network
mhm.
on Toonami. When I was like, "What is this?" Naruto. I was like, "Okay,
What is this?
let me let me check this
Yeah.
out." So I started watching it, and I saw the next step, Shippuden, which takes 2 years after Naruto had left the village. So I started watching that, and then the ending of that, and then seeing Boruto as the Hokage, and now seeing the
Mhm.
next generation of his kid. So I've been reading the mangas of fire.
Mhm.
I don't want to get into that either. I don't want to
Uh,
No,
spoil
no.
nothing.
we're
But
so far
Yeah, a
off
lot.
topic of Attack on Titan right now, but this is
Yeah,
great. You
yeah.
giving your insight, and because Chris is the one that's been trying to get me back into the anime, and I was texting you like it's been a while, and I'm slowly getting back into it. Keith and I, who right now is not even paying attention, in high school we watched Ninja Scroll, we watched like the '90s stuff.
Oh, but yeah, the I
okay,
still feel like the anime that got me, the animes that got me into anime, which is more like what's the risque anime called? Because I know the is it
You're
Yusuke,
hentai?
yeah.
that's what you
Hentai?
watch.
Yes. Yeah, hentai. That's
It was
that's
the anime then. It wasn't full hentai, even though I
okay.
definitely
I was
watched.
gonna say
And,
you weren't going that
no, but
far.
I did watch. Like it did lead me down some dark roads. But I'm just saying
Right.
the anime at that time I feel like was a little bit more. Even the regular anime was a little bit more risque. Like I watched I watch Night Sabers,
Okay.
those those four women with the motorcycle
Hmm.
transformation. Yo, I love that tune. I
Right.
love Night Saber. Um,
Akira, did you watch
Yuruka
Akira?
Sucha Yuruka Suka Doji, which was that was very hentai esque.
Mm-hmm.
That was more towards that level. But like even to me, even the regular anime then had like elements that were like I watch some of the anime now that I'm getting back into it, and it's cool, but it doesn't seem as like as hard hitting as the anime that
I
got me into
see.
anime
I
as
think
a kid
now
or in high
we
school.
have so much available, and we're kind of aiming and talking about the most popular, which generally tends to be the most broadest
Right, whole new
audience.
generation,
There,
so
I think there are things that would hit along where you're looking at Hunter x Hunter or something like that,
Yes, yes,
which
like yeah, yeah,
which aren't hentai by any means, but aren't going to hit the same general audience as a Demon Slayer, which is going to be breaking records in movie theaters across Japan and the U.S. Those are they're kind of like they're like cousins about what they are
yeah,
and
it's
and
the
how they handle characters and that.
Demon Slayer is a whole new generation, newer anime. So I'm glad it's doing well, and it's great that you have the animes like Hunter x Hunter and Bleach and some of them older ones, and fans out there who's just getting into those animes. If it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be no Demon Slayer. It wouldn't
True.
be no
Right.
Chapter.
True.
So it's fine that people are watching them, but watch the animes that brought you there. Watch the Bleaches, watch the Naruto, watch the DBZ, watch the Ronin Warriors, watch the Triguns, watch the Samurai Champloo, watch the
Mm-hmm.
Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop, uh,
Cowboy Bebop. Huh?
Yeah,
few of
Cowboy
them.
Bebop it's a good anime. It's not quite as serialized. Like some of these are very story. This is very story oriented.
Yeah,
Like you watch Attack on Titan, it's a single narrative
yeah,
all the way through.
yeah,
It doesn't have these side quests
yeah.
or day in the life
Right.
of, and a lot of things like a Naruto or a Samurai Champloo or something like that. They'll have episodes that don't seem to apply to
Yeah, there's
anything.
a lot of
They're just a
filler
fun
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
episode.
yeah,
Yeah, and so you have these longer things,
yeah.
and Cowboy Bebop has some of that,
Right,
where they'll just go on a side quest that has nothing to do with the main
right,
storyline.
right.
Like here in America, when we watch a show, the character has to have a specific arc that grows like this
Right.
and goes here, and that's why we have, you know, 10 episode stuff of Daredevil,
Right.
and we get mad when there's an episode about Karen Page, right? Whereas Naruto, I watched the 500 episodes, and there's like a Choji episode where he goes to an eating contest.
Yeah,
There's just like
it's some stupid filler, and you have some backstory filler, and you get to understand some of the other characters a little bit more. Like, oh, I see why this character is like that. I see why this character did what they did. Okay, then you have the original source material from the manga. All right, we gave you this. Now let's get back to the source material of what has been going on. And I like some filler. I don't like too much filler
yeah,
because
I
it's
think
kind of
that
like you.
the filler discussion is always about how invested you are in the world.
Right,
Like there are some people who like if you're a Batman fan, you will watch every piece of Batman art whether
That's
it
true.
relates, doesn't relate,
Yeah.
if he's in ancient China, if he's in the future, if he's got a kid,
Give me an
you'll
episode
just watch
about
it because you
Gordon
got
and
it.
the Gotham PD.
right,
I'll
Exactly.
enjoy it. Yeah.
So if you're a fan of that world, you're gonna love all of those extra episodes that give you other stuff to watch.
yeah,
Whereas if you're just enjoying the story and the arc and the character,
right,
you're gonna be like, okay, I want to see that, but I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about, you know, what's his name's kid that just happens to do too many push-ups or whatever. It's just it really is a how much do you care
right.
about this world and how much do
So
you want to just see the cool storyline.
getting this train back on Attack on Titan. Again, this was the first anime, in my opinion, that I watched
Uh huh.
that was so depressing. Like
Yeah.
Like everything about it was like, dude. And Keith is the only one who hasn't seen it yet, dude. It's
It's like the
And it's not
Titans,
a good
like,
commercial.
Right.
yo,
So
like,
my
why?
question to you, is, what was your impression when you first saw it? Because I was pretty shocked. I thought it was an amazing start. It was so cool looking. It was kind of different. It kind of dragged me along enough. I'm all caught up on it, but specifically season one, I was super interested
Well,
because it felt like a really awesome, interesting, world.
well, when I first seen it, well, I was like, all right, I heard about it. I'm gonna check it out. I'm always into checking out new anime and see what they all about. So I started watching it, and I love the animation. I love that this is very gory. Like they getting down, they getting
Mm-hmm.
eaten. I love the drama between the characters like Aaron and some of the other characters.
Mikasa.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, wow, this is pretty good. I'm very curious to see where is it gonna go. Like after I seen season one, I was like, okay, how far is this? How far is this series gonna go? 'Cause I never read the manga,
Mm-hmm.
so you know, is it gonna be like another, I don't know, 300, 200 episode type of series, or is it gonna be less than that? The story could go in either direction. Characters come and go. New characters enter the story. Some characters have their positions on where they want to be. Some characters may decide, I don't want to be a Titan no more. I'm gonna fall back and let the new generation start, or whatever the case
Oh,
may
what
be.
Keith doesn't know, spoiler alert, is you can actually be a Titan as a regular human, which was
Yeah,
a shock.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
So
that
we
and
hadn't
they,
quite gotten to that
that's what got
description
me. All
part
these
of it.
Titans, they don't wear clothes. They're just walking around butt naked. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, are you
Yeah.
serious?
So where we had gotten to basically was just talking about the kids um, being introduced to this nasty new
Uh,
threat, and then they all join the army and they go through their training, and that's when we start meeting the characters who will eventually you'll get connected to and may or may not survive anytime soon. Um, Characters like Annie and Rainer and stuff like that
right.
that'll become very important to the story overall.
And the main character,
And
didn't the main character's parents get eaten by a Titan?
Yeah,
so basically the first episode, one of the most shocking things I've seen in a while in an anime was that
his
his
mom.
the main character Aaron's his mom gets
Right.
eaten like a gummy bear in front of him,
Yeah.
and
That's
yeah,
terrifying. When
that
I saw it, I
basically
was
sets
like,
him on
I
his
would be
path of
devastated.
hating Titans, which turns out to be pretty funny.
Right.
But when they you get several episodes of them being training and some time passing
Right.
and them finally getting in their first fight again to go fight Titans, and more shit hitting the fan as you start to find the craziness starts to happen where you learn that Titans are actually people.
Right.
They're not just some monster that grew in the forest.
Right.
It's a person that ate a piece of Titan or was eaten by a Titan.
Eaten by Titan whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's also a thing. I'm mixing up later on in the series because after season one, this is the hard part about once you get past season one, which is the most interesting. You get a lot of back history for the world and the Titans,
Yeah.
and it starts to get rather confusing. It's actually I found it a little hard to follow because the number of characters and the different groups and who they were and what the Titans were. And it gets kind of confusing, so you kind of have to go to YouTube and let somebody explain it to you.
Here we are.
That's what
Here
I
we
did.
are.
That's what I did. But I thought season one was a very solid narrative that got you into an interesting place where you're like, oh my god, these things are a threat. Oh my god, I'm gonna be a part of killing the threat. Oh my god, I am the threat. Like
Yeah.
it's a really cool transfer of shocks of what happens and where these giant monsters come from and what they are.
Yeah,
And it really was a great series.
in the
And
later
they find out some of their friends are actually, oh shit, they're Titans too.
yeah. And in the later seasons, they were going after each other. So it was like, okay, so we getting past the Titans into us as humans. Like we, you know. So that was pretty cool. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'll say, and look, I don't think we're gonna talk too much longer about this. I just want to say that for anybody who's looking to watch this long term, it does get rather back and forth of who's the good guy. One of the thing that keeps me watching it through the long term is this idea of, is anybody really a good guy or a bad guy in this situation? It's a very interesting dynamic of people doing each other wrong and feeling right in doing that, passing that wrong onto others.
And anybody can be a good guy or a bad guy.
Exactly. It's kind of like the I Am Legend. If anybody's familiar with I Am Legend, you find that the shocker at the end is that the guy who you've been following as the good guy all along turns out to be the legendary bad guy of the people he's been killing. Like, that's the shocker of I Am Legend. And so this is kind of a weird passing the buck of who's the good and who's the bad guy as you follow your characters along. And all along going, I just hope Mikasa lives.
Yeah, her character is written really well, and I really liked her character in season 1. And I'm hearing, I cheat a little bit. I go on other YouTube sites and I get their recaps, and I'm hearing her character really, gets better. So I'm rooting for that. So, Adam, let me ask you a quick question. Where would you rank Attack on Titan in your top 10 or top 20 current anime that's active?
I would put Attack on Titan as far as new anime. As far as, I wouldn't say it's like on my top 10 list.
Oof.
As far as new anime, it's up there. But as
Okay.
far as anime in general, nah, that's not on my top 10. If you said top 10 new anime,
there's
now I haven't really watched a whole lot of new anime. I've seen bits and pieces of some, but as far as new anime, Attack on Titan's up there. Or as far as anime in general, nah.
No, that's fair. Chris, what about you?
Okay, if you were to, I'm gonna ask this. Let's do this. Rank the what we mentioned as the top 4 modern popular anime: Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero, and Attack on Titan. Why don't you rate those 1 to 4? What you think is the best of those?
That's a good question.
Wow. My Hero. Jujutsu Kaisen.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry. My Hero, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen,
And then Attack on Titan, number 4.
and
Attack on Titan would be number 4.
Yeah.
Okay. James.
My Hero. That's the only one that I've actually watched.
You've only.
I'm modern with. It was the first one that my son put me on, to the point where he no longer watched. My 13-year-old son, he doesn't care about it anymore. He moved on, and I'm still watching the show.
right.
I got the Funimation Crunchyroll subscription. I still watch it.
Season 6 in October.
Yeah.
And Bleach is coming back, the final arc.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
my son can't wait. My oldest son has a Bleach tattoo.
Now that is an anime that's got a lot of filler episodes too. My Hero has a lot of filler episodes. There's some episodes.
Yeah.
Christmas Party. It doesn't advance anything in the plot.
I'm telling fans now, what you're about to get, your mind's going to be
Oh, I haven't read the manga at all, so I have no clue.
Nothing yet.
Okay.
So if all you
So
anime only fans, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till
Good.
after
Can't
season 6.
wait. Yeah, and Keith, this is the one that I want to recommend you outside of Attack on Titan. Is the next one is My Hero. I think you'd like them. You'll like My Hero. It gets a little bit kiddish in the beginning,
Yeah, like
It's a
that
slow
whole
start,
like
but
we're in school and we're
Yeah, in the
understanding.
beginning, yeah, but it
yeah,
That's not gonna keep me, bro. I got
nah, but it
content out there. Like it's too much content. Too much content out, I don't have unlimited time.
right. I
All right.
understand.
All right. So for me, I
I
actually
keep trying to
put
push this my hero joint on
all right, I put Demon Slayer at the top of my list of these four. I just finished the Entertainment District arc,
Okay.
right? And like it felt like the first two episodes I was like, oh, these are going to be kind of fillery episodes after the movie, and I'm going to be or whatever. And then it hit me with 5 straight action episodes that were some of the brightest, colorful, well animated action, uh, well designed action I've seen in a while, and it was awesome to watch. So the Entertainment District arc, I think it's only 7 episodes, but it was beautiful to watch. I liked the movie. The movie just feels like part of the TV show. It didn't feel like a movie to me.
Right.
But I really, really love Demon Slayer. It is probably the
I
best
like the
one for me
graphics of Demon
this
Slayer, probably the
of
best.
this group.
The way the
I think it's
animation
just
is drawn to me is a little,
Yeah, the animation is beautiful.
yeah, it's beautiful.
it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous to look at as an art student. Like, it's just something to
They came
do.
out with a video game. I haven't played it, but
Now I'll have to ask my kids if they've played that, because I don't know what they're playing anymore. I don't even look. By the way, my kids are in their 20s, so
Okay.
it's a different world than some of the
Okay.
others. I think number 2. Unfortunately, I have not watched more than like 6 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen. I want to watch more. I just haven't sat
Yeah,
down
I've
and
seen
done
like
it.
1 or 2 episodes. I told myself I'm gonna get back into it because
It's really
it was really cool.
cool.
I haven't read the manga. So
All right. I hear lots of good things. It's not. There is some schooling thing, but it's not like kids in high school type, regular high school type stuff. It feels different than that. But I would say number 2 for me would probably be My Hero. It it has also like amazing action battle. I like the characters a lot. I like what they've done with the characters. I
I
think
like
the
the
world
power
is really
sets. When it's
interesting.
done right, the power sets to me is the
Right.
best.
And what I love about the power set, so my sons and like their friends are all anime fans, and so like we'll have fun coming up with our own quirks that are just ridiculous. Like, what if I had a quirk that I could just remove any nail I walk by? What can I do with that quirk? Like, it's just fun to think about. It's a fun world with some weirdness, and it really is a kind of an enjoyable world to be in. Plus, it's a good story, good characters, great animation. So they do great stuff. Definitely My Hero. Then Attack on Titan would be last, only because I've gotten to the point where I'm following it because I want to finish the story. I'm just about at the end of it, but I could never feel happy watching it. That was my hard
It's
part.
depressing.
Like it is depressing. I do, and I wanted like Levi or Mikasa to do, and I'm hoping like these last episode or 2 give me that closure I want from some of the best characters that they created. Um, I hate finishing an anime and hating a character.
right.
Oof.
Like I finished finally after decades. Why am I blanking? The one with the angels and robots. All of a sudden, I'm blanking on the name of it.
Um,
Angels and robots.
Robot.
Oh, Jesus,
For
man,
some,
I'm
for some
sorry.
reason, I'm thinking of Final Fantasy, the video game, but
No. It's a
Angels and
classic
Robots.
anime. Been 20 years. Um. Oh shit.
Angels and Robot.
Anyway.
I don't know. It'll
Yeah,
come back to
I'll
me.
know it once I see it, but for some reason I'm blanking on the name of it. So anyway, yeah, I hate finishing a and going, wow, I just hate that character, right? and then it just makes me depressed thinking about. I don't want to go back and watch it. Whereas like I finished Naruto and I'm like, I love those characters. I want to go back and watch that.
Right.
Or Battle Angel. I love that character. I want to go back
Come
and
on,
watch
Alita
that.
Battle
Right?
Angel.
This is my favorite. My favorite anime movie probably of all
Okay.
time is Battle Angel.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was
Um,
pretty good. I hope they do a sequel to that. That was pretty good. I love that movie.
Yeah, I was disappointed in the live action. It's a discussion I'd love to have is about live action adaptations and why they're so bad.
Cowboy Bebop was
Oh my
trash.
Cowboy
god! Don't
Bebop was
even get me
bad.
started with
Um,
going on about
Trash.
certain live action
Bad,
adaptations.
bad would have been a step up. It
right?
was trash.
Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell. I
Ghost
watched
in the
that shit. I watched
Shell.
Ghost in the Shell.
That was Ghost in the Shell was just bad. It
It
wasn't
was
trash.
just bad. It
It was
wasn't
just
trash. I
bad.
agree with that.
It was relaxed.
But but like
Cowboy
Battle.
Bebop, that was pure unadulterated basura.
But the weird thing about Battle Angels, like the live action one, is it had this weird fan base that loved it, and I just was just like not feeling anything up for that movie. I hated that movie a lot.
Yeah.
So it might be just me, but I
I
didn't
I,
like that
I
at all.
enjoyed them, but my thing with I'm all for live action doing live action adaptations of anime as long as it's
Mm-hmm.
done right. And you know, I want the people who you know created the animes behind it. Like
To be involved. Yeah, be engaged.
whoever
Yeah.
you're gonna have whoever you're gonna have direct the film, like I want the creator right there. I want the
Mm-hmm.
creator to say, like, if you're doing Naruto, this is how Naruto's supposed to be. This is his move. This is how the nine-tailed
Right.
fox is supposed to be. Sasuke's supposed to do
Right.
this. He acts like this. There's the reason why Sasuke uh, turns on everybody, leaves the village
Right.
and turns on everybody, and then later he explains why he did what he did. Like, I want the creator right there because it's his story. Like, when you
Mm-hmm.
take their story and do it how you want to do it, you're disrespecting the creator of the person who created the manga. And not
And
only
this
that,
is why every time there's discussion of creating a live action Akira scares the living shit out of me. I don't know what you can do with that thing in live action
I
that
don't
wasn't done.
I don't know. Special effects would be dope. How they but as far as the
It would be
actual actor who to play Akira, that's a tough one. That's a tough one
it
because
could be
Akira's
cool
kind of
and it could be the worst
crazy.
thing ever. I don't know.
Like,
Oh,
I would
by the
love
way,
to
the
see.
anime I was trying to come up with was Evangelion. Evangelion, I
I
absolutely
never watched that,
cannot
but I heard
stand.
heard it was pretty
I
good.
did well. Like I said, I watched all the series, and then finally, after a couple decades, I watched the End movie, and then the remake, the other End movie, because there's two, and then they
Right.
released another set of End movies because just
Why?
because I won't even get into it. I would need my friend Paige to come in and explain the reason why
Yeah, I heard
why
years ago
the
about a
End
lot of
movies were so
adaptation
bad.
of
But
that.
the character, I hate Shinji with my entire being. He's the worst protagonist of all time. I want nothing to do with him. Um, anyway,
Yeah,
it's funny because it was one of the animes that got me into it. I loved it initially,
and
and
that's the same thing I said about with Dragon Ball. And when they did Dragon Ball
mm-hmm.
Evolution, I was like, "What the hell are you doing? This is wrong." Like they had Goku in high school. He's not like like no. What are you doing? You messed up first of all the whole timeline. Dragon Ball Evolution would have been cool, but you messed up the timeline. Like you had Goku as a teenager, but by that time Goku you had him fighting Piccolo, and his grandfather was still alive in the movie. Goku's grandfather was dead, and
Mm-hmm.
Goku was 19 uh when he fought Piccolo in the World Martial Arts Tournament. The Piccolo that we all love now. So like if you was going to do that, I think with Dragon with if you're gonna take that art, you could have did that and lead into Dragon Ball Z. if you was gonna do that. But if you telling Dragon Ball that how it all started, you did it all. You did it all wrong. Should have did it when Goku was a little boy, and then go on from there, leading up to King Piccolo. King Piccolo
Mm-hmm.
spitting out the egg. Then his son, the Piccolo that we all know, him fighting Piccolo in the tournament. And then, at the end of that arc, Goku marries Chi Chi, and then, all right, the next chapter, Dragon Ball Z. And then you start doing movies of that. You
Right.
know, when, like, if you want people to get it, if there's people who haven't seen these animes or whatever.
I haven't seen a single anime of Dragon Ball, by the way. I'm just listening.
Oh well, I'm telling you
Right.
right now, watch it. It's on Crunchyroll. Watch Dragon Ball. Watch Dragon Ball Z. Watch it. It's good. And watch the
All right.
movie. Watch
So
all the Dragon Ball Z movies. All 13 movies.
all
13
13
movies.
movies.
Yeah, watch.
Right.
I'm telling you, watch it. Buy the Blu-ray.
All right.
Buy all that shit. I'm telling you, it's good. Dragon Ball
So
is a generational series, and when you people like myself who grew up on it, and you have people who have kids who have them watching it or whatever, and you do a live action and you mess it up, that's messed up, man.
Yeah.
That's why I said what I said. The creators that created the mangas of the animes that we all know and love should be there. Whoever's gonna direct it, I'm all for live adaptations of anime movies, but it has to be good.
The creator has to be involved. I agree on
Right.
that one.
It has to be
all
All
right.
right,
good.
Chris,
The
let's
yeah. The
wrap it
last
up.
last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna give a suggestion. Maybe like one or two suggestions. Something you're watching now. Something that's not 8 million years long.
I
like
watch a lot of stuff, so outside of
right,
anime.
but
So
pick like two things you might throw out that people might not have already watched. Like maybe make them a little off world.
all right.
What is something?
Um,
Go for it.
I don't know if people out. There's a lot of people who watch this and a lot of people who don't. But for those who haven't watched Power, the Power series,
Oh, that's Brooks. She's not here tonight. Brooks has
uh,
been on our pod. She swears
Power,
by power.
Power's good. The spinoffs are good. I can't wait till Sunday for Power Book
Book
440.
4.
Yeah, Tommy spinoff.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Episode 8. I'm looking forward to that. There's 3 episodes left of the season. They
Yeah.
already they already talked. There's already going to be a season 2, which I
Yeah.
kind of already figured. Tommy not done. He's still,
He's a great character. He is. He is.
yeah.
And I watched Raising Kanan, but I didn't watch Power Book 2. I can't stand a little Tariq kid. So,
Watch it. I'm telling you, watch it. Watch the first 2 seasons. They're
yeah.
filming season 3 now.
All right.
So
So what's your second recommendation?
All right. Yeah. We'll
uh,
finish.
the Power series, I'll say I watch. What else? What other? I like on Netflix. I was watching a show called The Upshaws with Mike Epps. It's
Upcharge?
basically Upshaws, The Upshaws.
Upshaw.
It's a
Okay.
comedy. It's basically what TV is really missing. It's a regular family with dealing with you know trials and tribulations of life.
You said Mike Epps? I
Yeah,
know the
Mike Epps.
comedian. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I say check that out. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I see it. I just did a quick look at IMDb. Yeah, the
The
Upshaws
Upshaws. I liked it. It's
over on
supposed to be a
Netflix.
second season, but I liked it. It was pretty cool. What else?
Never even heard of
All
it.
right.
Seen Cobra Kai. I highly recommend people
Cobra
see
Kai.
watch
We had
Cobra
a
Kai.
whole episode on Cobra Kai. We love it.
Okay.
So, all right. So we're gonna finish off then. I want to thank you for joining us.
No problem.
We finally got a chance
Thank
to sit and
you.
talk
Much
some
appreciated.
anime.
Much
Thanks, Anime
appreciated.
Passion
Let me know
Entertainment.
when
Shout out to
you're
Philly in the house. Philly.
Yes, thank you. Um,
We let Philly live tonight. We let Philly live
listen, y'all
tonight.
ever decide to come down, I love to show y'all. Come on
Right.
down and visit, please.
Nice.
We can eat some cheesesteaks and go see a film together. What's up?
Right.
I love for
That's
all
right.
y'all to come, and I'm gonna come back to New York to see you, man.
You know how to
Uh,
reach
All
me.
right.
You know
Well,
how to
thank.
reach me.
we gotta link up. When I go back to New York Comic Con, I'll definitely hit you up, and we could link up and everything. But
For
yeah,
sure,
man,
bro.
thank you for having me, and I'll be. Let me know when you guys do this again. I'll be more than happy. If it's all right with y'all, I would love to come back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Can't wait. We're
Anytime.
gonna try to get
We'll
these.
do our DC Marvel. You know, that's the next one, man. We'll have.
That's right.
Yes.
I know.
Nice.
So many Marvel movies and TV shows that I'm looking forward to. The one right now, I'm very looking forward to the Moon Knight series. I'm very looking forward to
Comes out
that.
next week, Wednesday.
Yes,
Everybody who's
I'm
watching
looking
this next
for
week, Wednesday the 30th.
outside of
All right.
Marvel and DC. I'm looking for the Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars series. I'm looking forward to that too.
Bet.
I've been waiting for that. I saw that trailer. I said, I've been waiting. This is what we needed. Freak all that other stuff from Star Wars. All the other stuff.
Let's hope they don't. They don't just go over to Goku for
Huh?
not Goku. Grogu
Like what?
for 2 episodes.
All right.
Wow, got my
Chris
anime
is
mixed up.
such
All
drunk
right,
right now. Time to end this class.
everybody, it's late
Yeah.
for us. We're gonna get some sleep. Thank you for joining us. Catch up with us on social media. You know where we're at. Give us 5 stars. Hit subscribe on all of the podcasting and YouTube apps. And we'll see you later. Thank you everybody for joining me. Have a great night.
Yes.
Peace
Good night.
out.
Thank you so much.
Later.
Peace.